So we're ready for Chapter 3, Open Sesame. The fourth M thing must be out there, said Annie. Beside the door was a button with the word open on it. Annie reached for the button. Wait! Jack grabbed her hand. There's no air on the moon, remember? Oh, yeah, right. But we have to go out there and find that M thing. Let's see what the book says, said Jack. He pulled the book out of his backpack and he flipped through it until he found a page that showed the surface of the moon. He read out loud, It takes 14 Earth days to equal 1 day on the moon. No air protects the moon from the sun's rays, so daytime heat reaches 260 degrees. Jack looked at Annie. I told you our blood would boil if we went out there, he said. Yuck, she said. Jack read from the book again. Moon scientists wear spacesuits, which have controls to keep them from getting too hot or too cold. They have tanks, which provide air for 2 hours. Where do we get spacesuits? Asked Annie. She looked around, then trotted back down the hall. Maybe there? Jack was studying his map. Let's try the spacesuit storeroom. Don't look at the map, said Annie. Look at the real room. Jack glanced up. Annie was peering through a doorway off the hall. There's a ton of space stuff in here, she said. Jack went to look. Bulky white suits hung from the hangers. Air tanks, helmets, gloves, and boots sat in neat rows on the shelves. Wow, it's like the armor room in the castle, said Jack. Yeah, with huge armor, said Annie. Let's pick out the smallest stuff, said Jack. The suits can go over our clothes. Annie found the smallest white suit, and Jack found the next smallest. They stepped into them. Then Annie locked Jack's air tank into place. Thanks, he said, and then he did the same for her. Thanks, she said. Gloves, said Jack, and then he and Annie pulled on white gloves. Boots, said Annie, and they each pulled on a pair of huge white boots. Helmets, said Jack, and he reached for a helmet. Wow, they're pretty light, Annie said. Jack said, I thought they'd be like the knights' helmets. Jack and Annie put the helmets on. They looked each other over. No, they locked each other's into place. Sorry, I even had my glasses on and couldn't read that. I can't move my head right or left, said Annie. Me neither, said Jack. Let's try walking. Jack and Annie moved clumsily around the room. Jack felt like a big fat snowman. Close your visor, said Annie. They both closed their see-through visors, and cool air immediately filled Jack's helmet. I can breathe, Annie yelled. Her voice boomed right in Jack's ears. Ow! Talk quietly, Jack said. We have two-way radios inside our helmets. Sorry, whispered Annie. Jack put the moon book back in his backpack. Then he slung the backpack over his shoulder. Okay, he said. Remember, we only have 2 hours of air in our tanks. So, we need to find the fourth M thing really fast. I hope we can find it, said Annie. Me too, said Jack. He knew they could not go home until they did. Well, let's go, said Annie. She gave Jack a little push. Watch it. No goofing off, he said. We don't want to fall over in these spacesuits. Just go, 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 said Annie. She pushed him out of the room, and they walked back to the airlock. Are you ready, said Annie. Open sesame! She pressed the open button, and a door slid slowly closed behind them. A door opened in front of them, and Jack and Annie stepped out onto the moon. The end for today. Chapter 4 is called Moon Rabbits. Do you think there are rabbits on the moon? I heard that Wyatt got a rabbit for Easter. Pretty cool. Maybe there's rabbits like that on the moon. We'll find out tomorrow.